Hello there. So we're into tax season now. There's only 6 more weeks tax season, 6.5 weeks. I'm not counting, clearly. And I was chatting with somebody today who mentioned that a lot of us have a side hustle and that maybe it's not very clear whether or not they belong on our taxes. So let's chat about that. You have a side hustle. Does it belong on your taxes? Short answer, yes. Yes, if you have a side hustle, it definitely belongs on your taxes. And it can actually be beneficial to put it on your taxes. That's right. So it might feel a little counterintuitive because you're saying, oh, but I have more income than from my job, so why is that a good thing? Well, your side hustle requires expenses, right? So maybe you're selling things on Etsy, and so you have costs associated with building those things, or maybe you're providing services to somebody else, like maybe you're an admin assistant or you're coaching maybe on the side, and so you have to pay for things like Zoom maybe, or maybe you needed a specific piece of equipment to be able to do video conferences or something like that. Whatever the expenses are, you can deduct your expenses against the income from your side hustle. And not only that, but you can usually deduct a little piece of your home and a little piece of your car. So what we're basically talking about here is running a small business. Your side hustle, even though it doesn't feel like it's a real business, it is a real business. And so we can, even though we have to report the income that we're making, we get to deduct a lot of expenses against that income. And if it creates a loss, so maybe this is a thing that you just enjoy doing on the side, and you do it because you love it and you sell it just to be able to make money. Your intent is to make money, but it's not to be able to like retire or something like that. It could be that your costs are actually more than your income. So if that's the case and you have a loss in your side hustle, then you can apply that loss against the income that you're getting from your employer. So let's say I like to make t-shirts for my friends, and my friends then start getting the idea. They're like, oh, we're gonna have Caitlin make t-shirts for like my whole basketball team or volleyball team. I play volleyball, so we'll say volleyball. We're gonna have her do shirts for everybody. And then I'm like, great, I love making shirts, but I also can't do it for free because like I'm not going to pay for your t-shirts for the whole team, and I would love to be compensated for my time a little bit. And so they pay me for it. I buy the shirts and I buy the press-on stuff maybe, and I've bought this press-on like equipment thing, and so I'm able to do these shirts for them, and they pay me for the shirts. And so the cost of the shirts and the press-on stick things, the vinyl maybe, I clearly don't do t-shirts, all of those things are deductible against the income that they've paid me. And I can deduct a small piece of the t-shirt press. Now, if I'm using it personally, I can't deduct let me go back. I will capitalize this machine, which just goes on a place in your taxes, and then it tells you how much of the machine you can deduct every year. So we're trying to smooth out the cost of that machine over the course of a number of years. I'm not going to talk anymore about that. But what we're doing is you can take that little piece and deduct it in the current year. Make sure that if you're using this machine personally, that you note in your taxes there's a place to put in how much of it is personal. But yeah, you can deduct a little piece of that. And so by the end of the year, maybe I have a little loss. or at the very least, I will probably have zero income from this side hustle. You can deduct a little piece of your home against this, so you have use of home expenses, which include rent if you're renting, or if you're not, mortgage interest and property taxes. You can also include utilities in that, and you take the percentage that your office is, or the space that you're using, and out of the total square footage of the house. So if I had a 10 square foot office and my house was 1,000 square feet, say it was 100 square feet, then it would be 10%. I can claim 10% of all those costs on my taxes. Now, use of home cannot be used to create a loss, and it cannot be used to exaggerate a loss. So if you already have zero income, or you have a loss in your business, then use of home isn't useful in the current year, but it can be rolled forward. So maybe this year you have a loss, you put in your use of home, and you don't use any of it, and then you roll it forward to next year, and the side hustle makes money. You have use of home for 2 years now that you can use. So you won't pay income tax on that one either, theoretically. I mean, your side hustle made a lot more than in the prior year. Anyways, my point is, when you have a side hustle, you do have to put it on your taxes. It belongs on a form called a T2125. It's a statement of business activities, and it goes on your personal taxes. Your side hustle goes on your personal taxes. And if you have enough expenses and you have a loss in your business, it actually offsets some of the employment income that you have. So it can be beneficial to claim the additional income, even though it seems counterintuitive. All of that was a lot all at once. I realized that. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them for you. You can leave them in the comments below. We can have a little chat about them, or you can book a free 30 minutes with me and I'll answer all your questions, at least as many as we can get through in 30 minutes. I would love to chat with you about this. I love hearing about people's side hustles. If you want to let me know in the comments what your side hustle is, I would love to know, and I'd love to know why you started it. Why people start businesses is so interesting to me. So I'd love to continue this conversation in the comments. Let me know about your side hustle. I'll see you tomorrow.